As was stated, Gilbert currently has a reputation as the lowest cost per family in the valley, and in fact is very competitive with regards to the entire state. Yet we have consistently been recognized nationally as not only one of the safest communities in the United States, 17th safest in the United States, the safest in Arizona, but also, according to Money Magazine and other national publications, one of the finest communities and most desirable communities in which to live. With regards to the challenges that Gilbert faces, it is like the same challenges that the entire state and indeed the national scenario is facing as well. Specific to Arizona, clearly Gilbert has been challenged with the home building industry's collapse over the last couple of years. Gilbert has continued to be one of the fastest growing communities in the United States, and home building has certainly impacted that as well. The challenge for the town and what has been successful is the expansion and development of new businesses within our community, specifically the biotech industry, the biomedical services. On the town council, during my service, we have been very successful at locating not only Mercy Gilbert Hospital, which is involved in research, but recently the MD Anderson will be located at our Banner facility in Gilbert. And so with regards to the creation and the expansion of economic development, that will allow us to be sustainable. We will continue to be conservative and be mindful of those precious tax dollars as we prioritize the spending to meet the demands and the needs for our community and ensuring the quality of life our citizens expect and will maintain. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for that question. Appreciate it. For my very first meeting as a member of the Gilbert Town Council last year, we were talking about the budget, and I basically stated then what I'm stating now. We really need a long-term, multi-year budget strategy as a community. We've had too many years where we've just kind of borrowed from funds that we've set aside, and we haven't had the strategy that we need. We are a very lean organization, but there is always room for improvement in government, and we found some opportunities to streamline this year while I've been on the council, and I know that there are other opportunities as we look toward the future. So as I look to the future long term, I do believe that economic development is going to be key to broadening our tax base and strengthening our community so that we are sustainable. It will also help protect our property values as the community is well-rounded and as we're able to afford the amenities and other investments that we've put into place over the years. We need to keep an eye on those and keep those up, or we'll lose our property values in that area as well. So with economic development and process improvements, I think we can go a long way. We can enhance the revenues as well as enhance our spending patterns. But at the same time, long term, we do need to have a discussion as a community as to what the level of service is that we desire as a community. And then once we've kind of talked through that, what is that level of service, we can talk about what it's going to cost. And then have an open and clear discussion about how we'll pay for it. And I'm confident that the economic development plans that we've put in place and we're starting to already work on are going to get us there. But at the same time, we need to have this conversation so everyone at the community, in the community, can really begin with the end in mind. Right? Thank you for that question.
I think it's both. I think we need to continue to be more efficient in our spending and also to focus on economic development. I don't think one's going to solve the problem. To do that, I think the best way is to continue on the path that we have been, and that is to develop a strong strategic plan. Our strategic plan will identify what the assumptions are as far as revenues go and also what our spending needs are. That strategic plan then spawns off a strategic budget. That strategic budget will then fund the priorities that are established in the strategic plan. I think there's a third element that we haven't talked about before, and that is strategic communications. One of the important things we need to do is make sure we communicate what those results are to the community so they understand what the plans are for Gilbert. The reality is what's really killed our budget has been the decrease in construction sales tax. When building went down, so did the sales tax dollars from construction. We were dependent on those construction sales tax dollars. I think we will look back someday and think that this was a great blessing, because we were going to eventually run out of those construction sales tax dollars at build out. This has forced us to look at it much quicker in a compressed time frame, but it's going to be good in the long run, because we'll be in a better place, a better position to be more sustainable at build out. As I mentioned, we can continue to be more efficient. We're a continuous learning organization, Gilbert is, so we're constantly reevaluating ourselves and trying to improve. As Council Member Abbott mentioned, we are the safest community in Arizona, one of the safest in the U.S. We're one of the most desirable places to live. We even beat Scottsdale out of that, which I'm proud to say. And to be able to do that and be so efficient and have such a great place to live, I think says a lot about our community and about our leadership. Thank you.
There's no question that our revenues are down. You can look at the numbers and there's no question about that. That's just the facts. But I see the situation we're in now as a great opportunity. Hard times are a great opportunity to grow and to do hard things and to make necessary changes. And, I believe Gilbert barely scratched the surface on what we're capable of. In fact, as I said, in 2005, based on the numbers I've seen, we've actually been more efficient. We've actually served more citizens per town employee in years past. And so I know Gilbert can do better. Gilbert is special. Gilbert is exceptional, and I believe in that. And so I want to continue to move forward. So on the spending side, we need to do work. Obviously we can't be overspending on land deals and things like that. But we also have issues, areas of opportunity in our efficiencies with our staff. And I talked about Six Sigma earlier, and what's exciting about that is it provides us with evidence that we have opportunities to improve. And so a more comprehensive program, TPM or Total Productive Maintenance, we can see savings like 20 to 40% in 3 to 5 years. And that's $14 to $28 million a year. That's something we need to do. Not only does it cut staff time and save money there, it improves employee morale, and it also cuts applicant time, which is the business-friendly part of the equation. Anyway, I believe it's an easy out to raise taxes when times get hard. I don't think that's the direction we want to go. We should dig deeper and work harder and reach higher levels. And, I know the projections are continuing, but those are not considering the improvements that we need to make. Again, I thank you for the time.
Revenue has dropped 20% in the last 3 years. When you consider that our budget started at $120 million 3 years ago, our projected revenues in that budget were $120 million 3 years ago. Today they are $100 million. Now, of that, $65 million of it is public safety. So when we talk about gaining efficiencies with the town and with the budget, it's not 20%, as Mr. Peterson has stated, of $100 million. It's really 20% of maybe $35 million. And it's even a smaller percentage because now we're just talking about the planning and development side, and that's just a very few $1 million out of our total budget. There are efficiencies that we can continue to achieve. We are the most efficient municipality in the valley. That goes without any question in my mind. And our staff is motivated to continue to make sure that we are the most efficient. We have introduced Six Sigma. That has shown some areas where we can make the processes more efficient, which means less staff time, but more importantly, it means that we can now move permits and plans and everything that the business side of our community needs much quicker. This year, the legislature was trying to move a bill that was going to require permits to be issued in 60 days. Our planning director told me, bring it on, because we're turning them around in less than 10. All right? So that would not have affected the town of Gilbert because we're already exceeding that goal significantly. And so as we move forward, we need to develop our economic development. We are poised to be the leader in economic development, just like we have been leading in housing development and housing starts for the last 2 years.
Tax changes do not have to be changed. There doesn't need to be a change in our taxes in order for us to be sustainable in the future. You look at surrounding communities that have higher tax rates, and they also have larger budget deficits. That's not the solution. And like has been said by a couple people thus far, I think that this downturn has been good in some ways. One, we're able to catch our breath, going from the fastest growing community to now time to regroup, get the troops back together, and plan for the future. It's a great chance now to do that. There have been improvements in town efficiencies. Obviously, there's much more that we can do. There's been improvement in bringing businesses in the Open to Business campaign under the leadership of Mayor Lewis, and there's been tremendous strides, but there's also a lot more that we can do there as well. In the future, and it's been said already, right now we don't have a whole lot of housing permits. We don't enjoy that sales tax revenue. When we hit build out, we're going to have that permanently. And so we've got to plan for that build out to be long-term sustainable in order to continue to enjoy the same services that we have. We've got to do the things needed to attract those high-paying jobs so that our residents, who are per capita one of the highest level of education in the valley, along with highest income, not only will live and pay, but will also work and have those jobs that they can enjoy here. With that business development, we will have the tax base needed to be sustainable long term, and we'll be able to continue to enjoy the same services that we enjoy now.